Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
This is the Abby Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird, and that's normal. There is a treasure trove of relationship and breakup advice in my notes from middle and high school. Annie and Aaron are going to hear some and decide whether or not it holds up. So we have some advice and comments on relationships here.
Ooh.
And I was hoping I could share with you, and then you could tell me if you felt like that was good advice or not.
Okay.
Or true, felt true for you.
This feels like a game show.
It's totally a game show.
Okay.
So let's say that you broke up with a boy, or you had a boy that was on your mind.
Okay.
Would this advice work? Don't worry about that boy. It'll all pass. I promise. Don't lose sleep over it. Good advice?
Yeah. I think that's great advice.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So relevant at 12 years old and also 32.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. All right. Don't lose sleep over it.
Don't lose sleep over
Amen.
it.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Holla, Crystal. That was Crystal's
Thanks,
advice.
Crystal.
Smart little cookie. You can substitute girl, okay?
Okay.
Don't lose sleep over it.
True.
Yeah? True?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That relationship advice does hold up, even though it's from a tweet.
I think so.
Yeah.
That person was wise beyond their years.
Jen's high school breakup story is the absolute worst. It would be understandable if she lost some sleep on this one.
Okay, so I think the worst middle school one was my first real boyfriend. My best friend was also dating his best friend. And so we were a cute little foursome, right? And then him and my best friend messed around behind they cheated on us. Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty bad. But the worst youth breakup.
Wait, but what happened?
I don't think that they even kept dating, but we all definitely everyone broke up. Yeah.
So dramatic.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I had a very similar situation.
Yep. And then me and the other guy who got cheated on actually were also friends.
Yeah.
And then so we just kind of bonded together in our friendship and our
Right. Did you guys end
Fuck
up
them.
making out though?
No.
Oh, interesting.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
That one was, traumatic, I guess, in the
Sure.
trust.
Betrayal.
Yes,
Yeah.
the betrayal.
Yeah.
Well, and from her too. I was like,
Well, yeah,
what?
that's what I'm talking about. Your best friend.
I know, right? Yeah, she definitely, that girl. I cut her off at 15 after 5 more times of I remember when we ended things, I was like, okay, for real though, you're not ever attracted to a man unless I say I'm attracted to him.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
You're that girl. Yeah, it was an ongoing thing. So I still think though, without a doubt, the worst was when I was 15 and I was dating this guy. He was 17. He was the one with his own apartment. Mm-hmm. And I would be over there a lot.
Why did he have his own apartment?
He had been emancipated.
Oh, jeez.
And he was not even in high school anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and he lived with a couple of guys, all of which were older.
Okay, this is the shit that our daughters are not going anywhere near. Anywhere near.
Anywhere near was really bad, yeah. And
okay, go on.
And he was he was the floppy hair leather jacket guy. Yeah.
Yep.
Very much like the Full House guy you brought up earlier.
John Stamos,
Like a 17-year-old version of that.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, totally. 17-year-old version of that. And so we had been dating maybe 5-6 months. And we were having sex, and so we had just finished having sex, and we were laying in bed cuddling, and I said, I love you, and he said, I think we need to break up.
No!
Well,
why? No!
Yes.
No!
No, And then like literally right after that moment, and I had no idea. I had like didn't see it coming. It like no inklings.
Well, his
at all.
penis was just in you.
Yeah.
Why would you assume it's time to break up?
No inklings at all, right? I was like, I love you. And he was like, I think we need to break up. Maybe like 15 seconds after that. What was the song? It's a Goo Goo Dolls song. The one from City of Angels. There's this, and it was like my favorite love song.
Yes.
Year, without a doubt.
Yes.
It's like this incredibly romantic like love song comes on, and I start sobbing.
Oh no! Oh
I remember him being like, "Oh, like an idiot." He was like, "Oh, I mean, like, why are you crying?" And I was like, and I remember saying, "It's not you, it's the stupid song." And he like threw a bottle of water across the room to like knock into the radio and like try and get the thing to stop. It was so stupid. Yeah, I mean, I remember feeling like truly heartbroken maybe for the first time.
Terrible.
Yeah. That was maybe like my first heartbreak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
15.
What an asshole. And then we were like, and then of course we're still in like the same friend group.
Right.
So we had to like, so we still like had to see each other. And then every time like I would end up crying and oh yeah, it was a thing. Took a couple months.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, when you're in love and you get broken up with like that, you go a little insane. Like, let's be totally honest.
Oh, totally.
And my brain would like think of ways that I could see him or talk to him or cause some drama or like anything for like our worlds to continue to be interconnected.
Oh, yeah.
Things that were crazy.
Yeah, I definitely would like attempt to like borrow his jacket.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I like left my bra over there on purpose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would ask friends to like do things. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all really fuzzy now, but I very clearly remember that moment.
How
and
can you
just being
forget
like,
that?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
Okay. City of Angels. Is that a Keanu movie? Who's in
No,
that?
it was Nick Cage.
Nick
Yeah,
Cage.
and Meg
I like
Ryan.
need to know that song. Like I totally know the song you're talking about, but I can't get it going.
And now I'm thinking of the Aerosmith song, which is not the same one.
But I freaking know that song.
Yes,
though.
yeah, you
with
do.
the like sheep.
I
On
don't
her-
want to miss a thing. Yes. I was like, you know what I'm talking about. I have a very sweet boyfriend song around that, or boyfriend moment around that song too.
I played that song at my first wedding. Yes.
I didn't know you'd had a first wedding.
Honey. So my first one, that was our first dance song, was that stupid ass Aerosmith song.
Don't want to miss a thing.
So embarrassing. Yeah. I don't want to
how
miss
old
a
are you?
thing. I was 19 at that one.
Dear Lord. Yep.
Dear
Okay.
Lord, indeed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the song of the year.
Do you have your phone? Because I feel like we need to Google that City of Angels song. I need to have completion of this thought.
I know I can't remember the song.
Just Google City of Angels movie soundtrack.
But I know the song. I'm like, it's
just sing it then.
Iris?
I need
Is it Iris?
That doesn't sound right.
I feel like that might be it though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Yep. See, it's kind of similar to that. I don't want to miss a thing.
It's so bad.
Right.
Don't want to
Yeah. Like, I can taste this moment, motherfucker.
You made me feel special, like we were one. You made me feel special.
Okay, let's say you're dating someone, right? And you're like not sure where it's going. Okay.
Ready?
Long pause for a very short statement. I wish I could look in a crystal ball to see what happens between me and him. Have you felt that way?
Yeah. Totally.
That would be so helpful to know, right? Because then at
Yeah.
the very beginning, you could be like, oh, this is not going to be worth my effort.
Yeah. And then you don't lose sleep over it. Boom. Bring it around.
Boom! Nailed it. Okay, this one also says, totally unrelated. Have you ever heard that song by Boyz II Men, End of the Rope? That's exactly how I feel.
Isn't it road?
Yes, it's End of the Rope. Into the rope. Okay.
Ooh, this note is on the back of a 1993 junior high oldies lip sync contest, April.
Shut up. Directions to enter. Number 1, get a group together. Number 2, choose an oldie song.
Ooh. Like end of the rope.
Into the rope.
That's the one.
Do you agree with this? I wish I could look in a crystal ball to see what happens between me and John. You can fill in the blank with whatever girlfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was
Do you
gonna
wish
say,
that?
I don't really care what happens between me
No,
and John.
no.
I don't know who John is.
But do you like wish that you had a crystal ball in the relationships you've had so you can see where they go?
No, you yeah, come on. You know where it's gonna go.
Where's it gonna go?
You know where it's gonna go.
What? Bone Town?
Well, that's where it goes first.
And then where does it go?
Then it goes nowhere, baby. It goes to getting married or going to Bone Town with somebody else. Those are the two endings. Or I guess you could have like a life partner.
Okay, well, wouldn't you like to look in the crystal ball and see those things?
Like to know whether or not you're wasting time.
Right.
No.
Okay, I'll say this. Are there any of your prior relationships
Yes. Like marriage number 1 for sure.
you wish you had had a crystal ball to see marriage number 1?
Well, maybe. I mean, it would have been nice to not have had marriage number 1, but it is also a great reference point for now in life to be like, at least that was not wife number 1.
Marriage number 1 falling apart, sort of kind of the reason you met Abby?
No. I mean, in the most roundabout way possible, I suppose, in that Abby and I would not be married if I was still married to wife number 1.
No, I mean more like that. Wasn't that one of the first things you talked about as friends? Like divorces?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that one of the reasons we connected and connected so fast was I was going through a divorce. The circumstances were similar to your divorce. So,
Right.
I mean, maybe you've blocked all that from memory, but
I did not.
those conversations
block it.
meant a lot to me that we had.
I mean, it's in there. That's definitely when I like drank a lot too. So,
Wow.
I mean, those were drunken conversations, is what I'm trying to say.
Basically, our relationship is a lie, is what you're telling me.
No, I'm saying I recall, but I do not vividly, like, I can't like close my eyes and like remember like an exact conversation.
Can you smell the conversations, though?
Yes, they smell like Camel Crushes. And I don't remember what I was drinking at the time.
Just an overflowing ashtray of Camel Crushes.
Yeah, just a lot of time at Starline Grill, or was it La Perry's then?
La Perry's. Mm-hmm.
All right, what else you got over there?
All right, I have one last one.
Was there even any advice on that last one?
It was if you wish you had
the
a crystal
crystal
ball.
ball.
Yeah. In her first real relationship, Jasmine thought that she was dating a church boy. Needless to say, a crystal ball would have been helpful. Were you in love with your first boyfriend? Or is
When I was-
Phil like the only one?
Yes, I was.
You were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the first
Yeah.
relationship where it was like, yeah,
Why did you break up?
he was a drug addict,
What was his drug of choice?
meth.
Oh shit. Oh no.
Yeah.
So what? So that couldn't have ended well then.
No. Well, it's funny because have you heard of Victory Outreach? It's a
No.
church
Okay.
for drug addicts and ex-cons and gang members. And they, go to this church and it's
Okay.
like the pastor was an ex-gang member. Kind of.
Is it in Oakland, or is it like nationwide?
They used to have one in Oakland, San Jose, Hayward.
Okay.
And I think it's like kind of nationwide. So he was in prison for like 3 years or something for like pulling a gun on somebody. He used to be a gang member, whatever.
Okay.
So he got out and working, go to church, no drinking, no smoking weed, no nothing. Cool. And I thought that was cool because the people I hang out with, they drink, smoke weed. So it was refreshing.
Right.
And then, so the first time we met, I was actually working at Piedmont Grocery. And so he was working next door, like doing construction. And so he came up to me and was like, oh, those are cool flowers. And I'm like, oh, wow, this guy's hecka cute. And so the next day I had went to my grandma's house with some flowers. Like I always take flowers from work and, bring it to my grandma for some fruit. He was outside fixing his car. I'm like, what? Like, okay. Like, what is this guy, doing? And so, hey, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. He's all, oh, those are for me? I'm like, no, no. He's like, oh, what are you doing here? I was like, that's my grandma's house. He's like, oh, I live in the back house.
Whoa, that's weird.
And I'm like, what? Really? He's like, yeah, with your cousin. And I'm like, oh my God, because my cousin was actually a recovering addict that was doing the church thing as well. And that's how they met.
Okay.
And so, we started hanging out and like, it was weird because he was like kind of new to the relationship because he was in prison from like 17 to 20. 3 years. And so I thought it was like, it was refreshing. I was like, oh, okay. Like he doesn't, really know like relationship. And I kind of could train him like to my liking, and he was like into church, a church boy, so
Yeah.
But then, so we got together and things were cool, but then he would do stupid stuff. The mentality, it wasn't, it just wasn't there. And we were together for what, 2.5 years. And then we just decided to move in together.
Okay.
Once we moved in together, I was like, yeah, no, he's not for me. Because he used to work with my cousin that he was living with, and they were doormen in San Francisco. And so he would come home, like he would work from like 4 to 12, and I would work like 6 in the morning to 3. So we would like miss each other.
Right.
And so there was a couple of times where I would have to get ready for work, and he wouldn't be home. And I'm like, okay. So I would go to my cousin's because we actually lived like a block away from my grandma's house when we got our first place. And so he would be there and they were like playing games. I'm like, it's 5:30 in the morning. Like, what are you doing? And I already knew he was messing up because he used to do meth before.
Yeah.
And my cousin was a recovering meth addict too.
Oh no.
And so I was like, what are you doing? I was like, are you on drugs? He's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay. Then he started doing some weird shit. Like one time I brought a friend over, coworker, 2 coworkers who he happened to know from like his high school. He climbed 2nd story window to see what we were doing. Like, dude, why couldn't you use the front door? Like he was trying to catch us on trying to do something. Then he started to think that I was having sex with his best friend, which his best friend was ugly as hell. Like hella ugly. Like seriously, Like, so things like, so I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. Like, I can't mess with you no more.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, no.
And then he would deny being on drugs.
Really?
Like doing, yeah, he would deny it. And then once I moved out, I moved back in with my dad. He was like, oh yeah, you're right. I was on, doing meth. I'm like, hey, dude, like I know what I have 3 cousins that are meth addicts. Like I know what a meth addict is. Like,
Yeah.
and when you're doing it, like I'm not stupid. Like,
Right.
yeah,
So weird. So were you heartbroken when you broke up?
I was.
Oh.
I was.
How did you do it then?
I figured I would go back to school. And, at that time I was 25. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Like it's time. Not in a relationship. It's time for me to focus on myself and on my future. Mm-hmm. So I went back to school.
Okay, tell me if this feels true to you.
Okay.
Abby, who cares about your dignity as a woman? Throw yourself at him weeping, and I'm sure he'll take you.
I don't love that. I don't love that at all.
No?
No.
No, it's not the right direction to go.
No.
I mean, I think I've tried it.
I'm sure you have. No offense.
Well, it would work.
Yeah?
He would probably take you back, but you wouldn't take that advice.
Would you give this advice to Audrey?
No.
No?
No. That's the worst advice I've ever heard.
Do tears work on you?
Do tears work on me?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Tears
You're
make-
revolted? by
Tears
them.
make me a little angry.
Really?
Yeah. Like, how dare you?
I feel like that's not entirely true. I've cried in front of you. And then you got intensely uncomfortable and then also threatened to get the guy who made me cry arrested.
So we've agreed that ditching your dignity and resorting to tears isn't the way to go. Darlene had no dignity in the way that she got engaged, but she found her path and ditched her dude.
This is embarrassing. I sort of forced him into getting engaged. Now, I want to be clear about this. This was not really me. No, it was, but so all of my friends, many of my friends at this time, so we're talking about the age of 22, 23, were wanting to marry their boyfriends.
Correct. That's what happens.
So that's what happens. And they were all like super into pressuring their boyfriends to buy them rings and get married. Now,
Yes.
I could give a fuck about a ring, okay? And for those of you in the room, you can see that I wear a very simple titanium wedding band. And I have no diamond. I don't want a diamond. I'll tell you all about blood diamonds someday. And I don't want gold because they use cyanide to process it. So, not my thing.
Okay.
Getting married wasn't my thing. Being engaged wasn't my thing. I didn't really care about any of that inside.
Yeah.
But I was still pretty vulnerable. I mean, 22, 23, you think you're an adult, but you're really not. And I felt like I was supposed to do that too. I was also supposed to pressure my boyfriend to get married, even though inside it wasn't something I really cared about.
Yes.
Also, our relationship was going downhill, and so I thought that would save it. So stupid. I mean, the stupidity is just like I said, embarrassing. So I pressured him into getting engaged. I bought myself an engagement ring. It's all ridiculous. Like at Sears, I think. I bought it at Sears. Oh my god,
You probably put it on a layaway plan.
I totally did. Yes, you guys, I bought an engagement ring for myself at Sears. Okay, this is the most embarrassing thing I'll probably ever admit to. And forced him to give it to me. It's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, here's what happened. I was in graduate school. I don't want to be classist about this. He was a high school dropout. I don't want that to be the issue. Like, this is about education.
Okay.
But it was more about life paths.
Yes.
Right? So he was working at a music store, and that's what he wanted. And he was driving in my car, because he never had one, an hour away to go to the music store. And we were just in different places. I was
Yeah.
going to graduate school. I
Right.
was focused on different things. And
Totally.
he never met my friends that I went to graduate school with. He had no interest in hanging out with them. And I think that was insecurity on his part. At the time, though, what I saw was my own boyfriend wasn't interested in my life.
Right.
I didn't see any of that.
Right.
So he wasn't involved in my life anymore. We were living very separate lives. He was driving an hour to work at a music store. Like, there wasn't a music store in the college town we were in.
Right.
And then I had this whole set of other friends that knew nothing and really didn't understand why they hadn't met my boyfriend or my fiance.
Yeah.
Didn't think it made any sense. Didn't think he was any good for me. Because you can imagine, right? If you become
Yeah.
really tight with somebody and you see them every day and you've never even met this other person.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and all you know is that your friend bought her own engagement ring at Sears, you know?
Yes.
So they're not fans, and they make that known. You know, we're out at the bar, and they're like, so where's this loser fiance of yours that doesn't care about you? And so all this is happening. One of my friends, who never said anything about the guy I was dating, was the super hot guy named Jim. So we were friends, but I was so attracted to him. This is like the beginning of a romance novel, right? I was so attracted to this guy. And I wasn't the only one. Look, all the girls were attracted to this guy. Okay. 6'5", goatee, built, had been playing hockey in college. Oh, girl. It was all there. I have a major crush on him, but I'm engaged. And all these girls are asking him out all the time, and he's turning them down all the time. And we're all like, oh, that's weird. One roommate knew why and would always be really like cryptic about it, which kind of made more people wonder if he was gay, right? Because one roommate would be like, I know why, but I'm not saying. You know, we'd be like, well, what? So we were very close friends, and I had some big falling outs with my fiance. I actually broke off the engagement first, and then actually broke up and then moved out. So it was kind of a process to get out of this long-term relationship. And through that, there were 3 men who were there for me in every way. So it was, and all 3 of them lived in the same house. Like, one story is, it's like 2 a.m, and I'm crying and upset after a falling out, and I call them, and they're totally asleep, right? But when I get one of them on the phone, and he's like, no, we're watching a movie. They get up. He gets everybody in the living room. They put a movie in and fast forward it. So when I get there, I believe them. They were told they had been dead asleep. But I was like, I'm not coming over if you're sleeping, right? And they're like, oh, no, we're awake. Come over. I mean, these guys were there for me in every way. And what I realized was that the person that I had planned to marry wasn't. Right? And so I was going through all these things in graduate school, going through a lot of things in graduate school. And the person that I was going to marry wasn't there for me. And these 3 guys who were my friends were. They were there they were giving me everything that I needed, minus the sexual that I needed from a relationship.
Right.
And I was getting it from them. And that was kind of the big light bulb. I was like, I have no business getting married. I have no business being in this relationship when I'm not getting anything that I need from it. So I broke up with him, and it took a little bit to get, kind of everything sorted out, because 7 years and living together and your lives are totally intertwined. And so it was amiable in essence. I mean, for the most part. In the meantime, I found out that this guy that I had the hots for and who kept turning everybody down was turning everybody down because he had a crush on me the whole time.
Oh.
And he didn't know that I was going to end up not being in a relationship anymore, but he just wasn't interested in other women because he had such a big, massive crush on me. Mm-hmm. So the day that I moved out, he asked me on our first date.
Oh.
And I married him.
Gross. Okay, well, that's all I have for this segment of relationship advice.
Okay.
From 12-year-olds.
I like it.
There's so much more. More advice to come in future episodes when we go back to the notes.